Florida is so broke right now, people are literally financing their groceries like a car note. Florida has officially turned into the second most financially distressed state in America. Of course, only Texas beat them out. When I saw it, I thought, dang, Florida and Texas are in competition with each other to see who can treat their people the worst.
Surprise, Florida just ranked as the second most financially distressed state in the entire country. Only where Texas is worse. It's not just an opinion, this comes straight from Google data.
There's a Trumper in Tampa who owns a construction company called Honest Hammer, and he is all upset because his workforce is being deported. Now, he makes the claim, like a lot of Trumpers who actually get affected by this make, and that is, that's not what I voted for.
So it looks like some Florida beach community businesses are struggling with a lack of summer tourism. And it looks like they can't seem to figure out why.
For us either. I don't know if it's the hurricane, the economy, a mix of the two, but we've definitely been, everybody around here that I spoke to has been down about 30%.
They're avoiding Florida like it has emotional herpes. Florida tourism is down, beach businesses are dying, and the people are somehow surprised about it. Come to Florida, where the sun burns your skin and the governor burns your identity. It's so politically toxic that even the alligators are switching parties. DeSantis is out here turning Florida into a family-friendly dictatorship. It's like North Korea with Margaritaville decor. He's out here banning books, attacking drag queens, and starting a fight with Mickey Mouse like he's the final boss of the woke Olympics. The man literally lost a fight with Disney. That's like getting beaten up by a piñata. Tourism in Florida has dropped harder than DeSantis' presidential campaign. You remember that? Blink and you missed it. It was like watching a wet sock run for office. The beach bars are empty. Even the pina coladas are asking, is it because I'm fruity? You know things are bad when even retired boomers are thinking of packing up and moving back to New Jersey.
Guys, hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am your lovely host Beryl. Thank you so much for all of you who have been here. I appreciate you so much for your support, for your love. We are at 234 subs. And it's just because of you, and I appreciate you. For my regular viewers, thank you so much. For those who are new here, please hit that subscribe button and let's get into the new story that we have right now that is brewing hot. What is happening in Florida? If you live in Florida, what is happening? Please tell us. Tell us what is happening. So Florida, they are a red state. You know what that means, right? Trump voters in Florida are very much furious. And they're not just furious for that, they're furious for a good reason. What happens when your economic promises crash out into reality? What happens when your economic promises crashes into reality? Watch an anger, disappointment, and desperation collide. These people voted red. They voted for Trump, DT, full force. A whole group, a whole community, it's called the red state for a reason, because majority of the people from there voted for DT. You get me? Yeah, I know I'm shouting because this is crazy. What is going on? So they voted for him, right? And they're the ones who are saying, we don't want immigrants, we don't want this and this, with this and this and this. Even Alcatraz is there. And you know what happens in Alcatraz, right? The alligator Alcatraz. People are missing. I did a video on that. Go watch it. People have been missing from there. They are mistreating immigrants as if they are animals. Just because someone is of a different color from you, you segregate them, you mistreat them, you treat them like they don't matter. And now you put in a leader who told you that his policies are this and this and this, and they are going to affect this type of community, this type of race, and you are saying it's good, right? That is what you said, that this is what we want. We don't want these people, we don't want them, blah blah blah, right? And now they have been deported. And now you're now on the internet crying, asking for help. Who's gonna save you now? The same people you deported, the same people who are being mistreated, or the workers that you had. Now your economy is sinking. It's going down because of your selfishness, because of how you voted. It's MAGA people that I'm talking to. It's far for season. It's far for season. It's far for season. The consequences are here. Karma is here, and it doesn't waste time. So let's get into more videos about this, and let's listen to exactly what's going on. Please hit that subscribe button. Tell me, what is going on in Florida? What do you think about it? And should we help them? Thank you, and watch the next compilation.
So it looks like some Florida beach community businesses are struggling with a lack of summer tourism. And it looks like they can't seem to figure out why.
For us either. I don't know if it's the hurricane, the economy, a mix of the two, but we've definitely been, everybody around here that I spoke to has been down about 30%.
But, oh, I have a couple of ideas as to why this is possibly happening. I'm gonna venture a guess and say that it has something to do that happened back in November of 2024. I mean, our Canadian neighbors from the north are cutting back on traveling to the US. And even other international visitors are cutting back on traveling to the US because of political tensions. And it looks like spending from international visitors is looking to drop by $8.5 billion this year, as estimates show. Also, people have less disposable income because of rising cost of food, as well as bills and everything else. We're already seeing this in like Las Vegas, but Las Vegas is just expensive in general too because of all of the extra fees that they like to tack on. But I guess I could classify this as a fuck around and find out tourism edition. But comment and let me know what you think about the situation, and my name is Philip, and if you like what I post, please consider giving me a like, share, follow, and repost, as it really does help me as a content creator. Thank you.
Florida beaches are empty because racism don't pay the bills. Now, those beaches and businesses are empty in Florida, and the business owners are scratching their head. They're like, I don't understand what's happening and why this is going on. But this is what happens when you build your entire platform on bigotry and fear. When you spend years attacking immigrants, the very people who visit your state, spend money in your hotels, eat at your restaurants, buy your tacky ass beach tiles. Don't act shocked when they stop showing up. And understand, it's not just tourists who aren't coming to Florida. When you squeeze the working class like a lemon, there is no juice left for joy. You think people got beach money right now? People can't even afford to go outside. And all those Trump tariffs, those weren't on corporations. Those were Trump taxes on us. Prices went up, jobs got cut, and now folks are choosing between groceries and gas, not plane tickets to Clearwater. And y'all made Florida a hostile environment, honestly. And not just for immigrants, but also for black people, LGBTQ, teachers, hell, even librarians. Y'all made the beach a battleground. So now it's just you and those overpriced souvenir stands collecting dust. And now conservative business owners are mad. But they're mad at the consequences of the policies that they voted for. Baby, this ain't karma. This is cause and effect. Conservative policies destroy communities, period.
The cost of living in Florida is absolutely fucking ridiculous, and the pay is not matching up with it, especially for healthcare workers, specifically nurses, is who I'm referring to because that's what I know, that's what I do. A lot of my videos talk about this. A lot of people comment that I live above my means. I would like to show you a video of me. I am the person that a lot of my friends go to for financial advice because I'm very frugal, I'm very good at budgeting. I love budgeting, I love saving money, I love investing money, I love doing things like this. Can't do it anymore because I literally don't make money. But yes, a lot of my friends come to me, and this video that I'm going to attach is one of my best friends. She was moving to Tampa. She wanted my help finding an apartment that she could afford. She sent me her pay. She sent me all these things. So I said, oh my God, girly pop, absolutely. Look at this fucking shit. Okay, December 29th, 2020. This one was $13.40. I clicked on this link, and it took me here. All right, we're looking for the 1 that I sent her, which was this one. 743 square feet, 1. It was 18, but after all the additional, it's 1964. I sent her a 12-month lease. For a 12-month lease today, that is $24.61. So yeah, it's not a me issue.
but thank you. Also, yes, I could get 27 roommates or live like in Section 8 housing or have like the cops perched outside my apartment every day. For example, my brother was trying to convince me to move to Jacksonville, and he's like, hey, you should come live here. He called me the other day. He goes, Grace, the cops knocked on my door at 4 a.m. and asked me if I heard anything. And I was like, did you? He's like, no. Apparently my neighbor got murdered and dragged down the stairs. But you should come live here because it's cheap. It fucking better be.
$17.33. That's how much I paid today for this coffee. I'm here and I'm just adding some numbers together and doing my budget because you know what? Today I asked my husband, where's the money? We're making the best we've ever made. Both earners, both incomes, good incomes and everything. And we don't have money. We're living paycheck to paycheck basically. So I put the numbers together and I decided to look at my budget. On June the 2nd, 2023, and I'm going to try to insert somewhere here the photo I took a shot of, how much I paid for it. On June the 2nd, 2023, the same exact coffee was $9.92. It's almost doubled in 2 years. Of course, my salary hasn't doubled. My income has not doubled. It went up a little bit, but certainly nowhere near that. And I don't know where my money goes. Every month, I'm struggling.
Florida is becoming impossible to live in, and I swear it's being done on purpose. And they're especially making homeownership so difficult. With the interest rates being as high as they are, we are also battling insurance prices being sky high, and people are completely priced out of homes that they could have bought 2 years ago or even last year. I have a friend that's selling her home because her insurance has increased over $10,000 in 1 calendar year with absolutely no claims. Car insurance continues to be high, and that's coming from somebody with a perfect driving record, no accidents. For the months of January and February, my electricity bill was over $250 for a 1,000 square foot condo, and I am not even running the heat when I'm not home. Even if you can't afford to buy a home, going into a rental is absolutely insane right now. I am currently looking for a new place to live. I pay $2,200 a month for that 1,000 square foot condo, and my rent is increasing to $2,300 unless I find a new place. Insane.
So I really didn't want to do a video on this, but I've been asked by quite a few people what I thought about the immigration stuff happening at job sites all around the state of Florida. Here in Tampa, Tallahassee, I've seen it everywhere. I've seen a lot of the videos, and it seems like a lot of people are just yelling and they're mad. I don't understand why this is happening. I don't understand it either. It's not what I voted for. I voted for the criminals to be removed, 100%. But there are a lot of hardworking immigrants in this country that are building this country. Going back to when I started building the Hard Rock, 85% probably immigrants, all hardworking people providing for their families. Talk to them, get to see their kids on their phones, hear them all interact, have great days, loving what they do. I've been to the trade schools here in Tampa. I don't see how we fill these positions. It's going to cause construction to collapse here. It worries me. I'm in a good position right now with the 2 custom homes I have coming up this year, but ultimately the shoes are not going to be filled by these people getting rushed out of here. So I'm not going to copy everybody else on this video here. I've got a solution. The solution, President Trump, is to not deport these gentlemen right away, these hardworking gentlemen and women that have been removed from these job sites. Get them legal status somehow, under a work visa, background check them, do whatever you need to do to make sure they're not criminals, but let's get them legalized in a rushed form or fashion. That's what needs to happen. That's the right thing to do if you care about America. It's the right thing to do because construction is the biggest industry. I'm sorry, healthcare. But we all know, I won't go to health. I don't do that here. Construction is the biggest industry in this country. And you're ripping the people out of it. Robots are not coming soon enough to build this stuff. You can only build so many 3D printed homes, and they need people there to manage those too. So Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, the solution, not the problem. We all know what the problem is. The solution is to not deport them. Get them legalized as soon as possible with the proper background checks. If they have to go, they have to go. But these are hardworking people that are building this country to provide for their families. There's enough craziness going on in this world. We don't need it here as much as it's happening with good people being removed. Dishwashers and stuff in other cities. It's sad. It's sad. It makes me sick. But that's the solution, President Trump. I'm not going to sit here and cry about it, but that's the solution. Do what's right for America. Please, I'm begging you. Honest Hammer is begging you. Do what's right for this country. We need the hard workers here. Hope he sees it.
This is Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey, and instead of fighting crime, they're now demolishing homes.
And what you're about to see is what happens to houses here in Brevard County that make the sheriff's high-intensity target list.
Mind you, this isn't a drug raid. This isn't a hostage rescue. This is literally home demolition.
You know, folks, there's nothing worse than having a bad neighbor, except having a bad neighbor that's a criminal.
He says that they tried to do things the nice way, so now they're just making people homeless.
Had enough. We tried it the nice way by talking to you and everything else. We tried it and trying to get you to understand. We put you in jail, and guess what? The criminal justice system lets you right back out on the street. Well, now, if you do get out, you ain't gonna have no place to go because we're gonna tear your little playhouse down.
Look at what your tax dollars buy. Urban warfare toys to be used in your neighborhood.
We've done everything we can to try and get these people out and get them in jail.
How does ripping apart somebody's home solve anything? If a sheriff can just show up and tear down a house because it didn't behave, that's not public safety, that's state intimidation.
Florida is now experiencing a complete collapse. Over the next 3 years, you will see housing prices on the East Coast and the West Coast and the south of Florida drop 30 to 40% over the next 3 years. It's that dire in Florida. And what's causing it all? People are moving out. People simply can't afford to live in Florida. And many people can't afford to fix their homes from the latest storms. It's only going to get worse. If you have property to sell in Florida, you better hurry. You better aggressively get it done. Because over the next 3 years, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. It's going to make the 2008 crash look like a picnic. So what is going on right now? You're seeing mass exodus of people. People leaving Florida in droves because it's simply not affordable. Insurance.
Canadian snowbirds haven't been flocking to South Florida lately. President Trump's immigration rules and tariffs have caused controversy in Canada.
Florida's economy is driven largely by tourism, and this year the state is on pace to set a new record for a number of visitors that come here.
Tourism officials say they've seen a marked decline in the number of Canadians visiting the state since U.S. President Donald Trump began making 51st state comments, and some Canadians I spoke to here in Fort Lauderdale say they wouldn't have made the trip.
Florida's golden reputation as a dream destination is starting to fade, not from storms or economic crashes, but from a political gamble gone wrong. Decisions made in the state's capital have scared away some of its most loyal visitors, wiping out billions in revenue that once fueled local businesses and beachside towns. A power move has spiraled into one of the costliest missteps in state history. How did a paradise built on tourism end up pushing people away? And what happens next for Florida's future? Let's dive in. If a state depends on visitors to fuel its economy, why would its leaders do anything to drive them away? That's the question hanging over Florida right now. A place once known for endless sunshine, ocean breeze and booming tourism is facing a self-inflicted crisis that no hurricane or pandemic could rival. It started with decisions that insulted the very people who kept its economy alive and ended with a political move so reckless it threatened to wipe out billions of dollars in revenue. For decades, Florida's strongest allies weren't in Washington or Wall Street. They came from the north, Canada to be exact. Every winter, thousands of Canadians would leave behind snow-covered streets and head south, settling into Florida's coastal towns and suburban communities. These weren't short-term tourists looking for a week of theme parks and sunshine. They were seasonal residents who spent entire winters in the state, often staying for months and spending freely across local businesses. On average, each household poured more than $30,000 into Florida's economy every season. From groceries and gas to restaurants, retail and recreation, they fueled the local lifeblood of small towns and big cities alike. Their spending bridged the gap between summer peaks and slower off-seasons. For businesses that relied on steady foot traffic, cafes, golf courses, real estate agencies, these Canadian visitors weren't optional. They were essential. Yet the relationship between Florida and its most dependable guests began to crumble when politics entered the picture. Donald Trump called Canada the 51st state and introduced tariffs that directly hit Canadian industries. The tone of his remarks, combined with trade penalties, sparked outrage across Canada. And while these policies were national in scope, the consequences landed hard on states like Florida, where tourism was tightly linked to Canadian visitors. Many Canadians felt insulted, turning their frustration toward America itself. In their eyes, traveling to the US meant supporting a country that had disrespected their leaders. That anger translated into action. Canadian travel to Florida plummeted almost overnight. According to Congressman Jared Moskowitz, the state saw an 80% decline in Canadian tourists. Local business owners began noticing empty rooms and quiet beaches that used to be filled with northern visitors. Richard, who owns hotels in Hollywood, Florida, described how his regulars stopped returning. They openly said they didn't want to spend money in a place where they felt unwelcome. Within a year, his Canadian bookings dropped by half. This wasn't a minor dip, it was a devastating economic.
Florida families are being priced out, and I see and hear about it every day as I talk to the people in my community. Everything from sky-high rent, insurance going through the roof, and grocery bills that just keep climbing higher and higher. That's why I'm running for Congress, to make Florida affordable again. My Affordable Florida plan will build more homes, lower insurance costs, cut energy and grocery bills, raise wages, and create good jobs. No one working full-time should struggle to keep a roof over their head. Let's fight for Florida families. Join the movement today at BernardTaylorForCongress.org.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. Republicans use poverty as a political tool. To absolutely no one in America's surprise, Florida is in a recession. Duh. Their whole MO is showing up, kissing the babies, taking pictures with little John, promising you all these things, then disappearing faster than affordable housing in Miami. They don't build systems, they stage gateways. If they don't build safety nets, they stage photo ops. And people in red states keep falling for it because they really have it in their mind that these crumbs are blessings. No, crumbs are fucking crumbs. And while single moms in Florida are literally working 3 jobs just to pay rent, Republicans are out here cashing $50 million checks. You're not being led, you're being exploited. Yeah. So do your fucking homework next time.
Did you hear about our tourism crisis? Specifically with Canada, our largest tourist industry contributor. America faces a tourism crisis in 2025. Foreign visitors choose safer, easier destinations. The last time I checked at the actual numbers of cancellations to the United States, it was over 1 million foreign travelers. We are set to lose $31 billion in tourism alone in 2025. Canadians are number 1 visitor and they're boycotting us. Here is what Donald Trump had to say about that today.
Canadians are refusing to go to the U.S. The numbers are down like 23% in the first 7 months of the year. What do you say to Canadians that don't want to go to the U.S. now because of your 51st state talk, because of the trade war, the tariffs, and the fear of also being detained at the border?
And Americans don't want to buy cars that are made in Canada.
$20.5 billion lost just in Canadian visitors alone in 2000.
Florida breaking news. Home builders are filing bankruptcy
left and right. Homeowners are walking away and deserting their condos, and there's 23% inventory on the market currently. So here's the latest that I have. Right now, I've got these 6 different organizations have all filed bankruptcy in the last several months. We have Planet Signature Homes in Ponte Verde Beach in April of 2024. We have Vandervlick Construction in April of 2025 in Citrus County. We have Modern Builders, Inc., June of 2025. It just says the Middle District of Florida. We have Division 3 by JP in June of 2025. That's in Broward County, another home builder. We have America's First Home LLP in Seminole and Lake counties filing bankruptcy in June of 25. And we have Sunset Palms Condo Association in June of 25 with 267 units also filing bankruptcy. This is not good. Again, homeowners are walking away because they can't pay the outrageous insurance that has doubled. They can't pay the significantly increases for the homeowners association fees. They can't pay the special assessments, and it's just a difficult situation. Likewise, to rent anything here, you have to typically have a 700 credit score. You have to show 3 months and 3 times whatever the rent is for the rental unit, and you also have to put down a first, a last, and security. The numbers are big, and it's definitely hurting the home market, the condo market in Florida, and everybody in Florida will pay the price. Thanks to the poor management of those in charge. Won't mention any names, but you have an idea. And this all ties back, in particular, back to insurance. It ties back to the insurance and what's been done there. And likewise, just another quick mention of insurance. Slide Insurance Company, which is now then Slide, what a name. I did another video on this or my other channel. And they paid their executives, husband and wife team, the last 2 years over $50.3 million in compensation. It was 10% of the entire revenue of the entire company each year. 10%. And that was before expenses. And also on these hurricane paying claims, depending on Helene and Milton, I'll have to look back at my numbers. I'm gonna flip-flop my numbers. But one had declined and refused to pay 63%. They turned down 63% of the claims, and the other was 50%. So I forgot which one was which. But 50% on one and 63%, the claims were denied. So not only are you paying these outrageous insurance prices, but they're denying your claims when you actually have storms and need the insurance. There you have it. Welcome to DeSantis' Florida. Such a great place. I've been here 35 years, long before DeSantis. Another story. Love to hear from my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, and my fellow Floridians. Tell me what you see. Tell me what you hear. We'll try to educate all. Have a great day. Stay safe.
And so the local buyer is having trouble filling in the gap. We're going to have to continue to see these prices drop before the buyers come back in. Now, remember what I told you folks in the beginning about all the empty homes? Like in this neighborhood, I keep walking by houses that look empty. It doesn't look like anyone's living there. It doesn't look like anyone's living there. And about a quarter of the houses in this neighborhood are vacant shadow inventory, according to data on Reventure app from the US Census Bureau. When you see so much vacant housing, so many empty houses, so much shadow inventory, that's a signal to you that there's a potential for a mass sell-off in the future, because if someone's not living in the house, whether it's an investor or a second and third homeowner, it's just way easier for them to sell when the downturn hits. And in this zip code in particular, the inventory has gone up by about 500% from the pandemic low, and we have the most supply here in this neighborhood that we've had in a decade. And so this is a perfect example of what I've been warning you guys all about, right? The investors coming into the market, the speculators coming into the market. Yes, they push the prices up on the way up, but they cause the crash to be worse. And what I think is interesting is the denial that's going on right now in the real estate market, because I see it in the comments section to my YouTube videos. I see it from other real estate YouTubers. There's people out there who are still trying to say that there is no housing downturn and that prices are going to keep going up. Especially down here in Florida. I see a lot of Florida-based people still trying to argue that there isn't a downturn. And folks, we got to give that up. The data at this point is so obvious that there's a downturn in Florida. And
how bad are things in Florida? From a real estate standpoint, I'll tell you how bad. Lee County, Cape Coral and Fort Myers. It's a small county. It's a small area. How many homes do you think are for sale in Little Lee County, Florida? You probably couldn't guess if you wanted to, but believe it or not, right now, there is over 24,000 homes for sale in Lee, the most ever. There's never, ever in the history of Lee County been 24,000 homes for sale. And that tells you the dire situation that is going on, not only in Lee County, but around Florida. Because let me ask you another question. How many vacant homes do you think are in Florida right now? Vacant, no one inside. How many? 500,000? 800,000? 1,000,000. Those would all be wrong because it's double that number. There right now in Florida, there's over 2 million empty homes in Florida. And it's only getting worse. We'll be talking about this all year in 2025. Like and follow for more.
Well, another business is filing for bankruptcy, and they have been in business for 50 years. This bagel business is filing for bankruptcy, and they are in Florida, the red state of Florida. If you have not seen any of my videos on all the bankruptcies, personal and business, how they're skyrocketing, including farmers. Farmers are filing for bankruptcy at a record rate, and we are only 7 months into this administration. Bankruptcies are going to skyrocket. When people are living paycheck to paycheck, and businesses are mostly small business, they cannot survive when they are paying extra money for their products and customers are not buying. This is going to be the recipe for an economic disaster, not only in Florida for this 50-year-old bagel company, but it is going to be a U.S. financial disaster. Hit that follow button and drop a comment if you have.
Florida GOP has just announced that they are going to be in the middle of gerrymandering the state of Florida the same way that Texas is gerrymandering their state. So as a Florida girl born and raised who has been protesting since I was 8, as this is the first protest shirt I've ever had when I was 8 years old, I'm going to tell you, tank our motherfucking economy. So I'm going to need you to tank it. Tank it to where? To hell, underneath hell. The frozen layer at the bottom of hell. I want Florida's economy below it. So I'm going to ask you guys to do a couple of things for me. Disney World, cut it. Universal, cut it. Orlando, cut it. Key West, cut it. Miami, cut it. Especially during Halloween Horror Nights, cut it. Busch Gardens, cut it. Our orange juice, the Florida orange juice, cut it. Because not only are they gerrymandering our state, and tourism is a big industry for the United States of America, and it's already down by the billions. Yes, billions with a B. Donald J. Trump decided to take the same FEMA, yes, FEMA, the same FEMA that was supposed to be fully staffed for the flood in Texas, and were not fully staffed because they decided to, with all the fucking cuts, decided to fire the emergency warning coordinator. Yes, the same Donald Trump who fired that man and caused that flood in Texas, caused all those deaths, right? Completely preventable deaths, right? That same Trump just reassigned all the FEMA employees to go work for who? ICE. Yeah! And being that Florida has this nefarious relationship with DeSantis and Donald Trump and ICE, I suggest everybody snatch your funds from us with the quickness. Remove the money. Stomp us out. Get rid of us. Stomp Florida out. Stomp Texas out. Because to do this type of cruelty, to then again disenfranchise people, stomp them out. I already got in contact with my representative and I asked her if she needed help in DC. So, because one thing about me, it seems like the fight needs me out of Florida at this point. It seems like the fight needs to see me in person. It seems like a fade needs to be caught in DC. Clearly.
Guys, I believe you have watched the video compilation I have shared with you, right? This is Florida, a state that helped deliver Donald Trump to victory. But now, many of his Former supporters are crying. Oh, they're crying foul. From soaring inflation and job losses, surging costs, everything is on the rise. Tariffs, the policies they once cheered are now hitting them where it hurts. Yeah, so in this video, you've seen the viral reactions of just hard truths and the fallouts no one wanted to ignore. Yeah, okay, I know some of you might be asking about my tongue. I ate some sweet that is blue in color. So let's continue. Let's get into the main topic of the day. Hey! So, first, let's break down the numbers. Inflation is devouring the paychecks. Taxes, direct and hidden, are growing up across the board. Benefits that they were once promised relief are now failing to keep up. For working families in Florida, every dollar counts, and right now they're being squeezed like a lemon and an orange juice. Oh, I really love it when it's FAFO season. The inflation is devouring the paychecks. You know what that means? Inflation is devouring the paychecks. Inflation is higher, like a lion in Zion. Doo 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 higher, like a lion in Zion. That is inflation. Higher, higher, higher. Yeah, inflation is devouring the paychecks, taxes, either direct or hidden. Like, oh my goodness. Life is about to get difficult for anyone living in Florida. So here's where it gets emotional, okay? Trump voters who were once unflinching in their loyalty are now raising questions about the promises they accepted. Okay, so you'll see confrontations, tearful testimonies about, and just different outbursts, all rooted in frustrations that leaders ignored their pain. We're not just talking about policy, we're talking about lives. Yeah, so that's what's up, that's what's going on. And oh my goodness, FAFO season is hitting hard. They were promised a lot, but now nobody is delivering it. So let's contrast what was promised and what they delivered. Energy independence, higher wages, lower costs. Many feel these pledges were just illusionary, like they were just vague. Instead, there's wage stagnation, utility hikes, shrinking purchasing power. No wonder skepticism is rising, because who is gonna believe a president who doesn't deliver? Even among the diehard fans, now MAGA fans are in the doubt. So this isn't just about something local. It's a warning. It's a warning shot across the nation. Even if Trump's base is rethinking, what does that tell us about political future? What does it tell us? Okay? Do we have fit candidates to run for next time's election? Hmm? And who are the candidates that you have in mind? Guys, anger is real, disconnect is rising, and like, whether you're a critic, a supporter, or just somewhere in between, just know that my channel, if you want to talk, if you want updates to deep dives and just unfiltered voices, this is the place to be. Hit that subscribe button. And remember, guys, let me take you back. Ay, contigo. Oh, na 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 na. Na 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 na, Donald Trump. You know that anthem, right? So, Florida is a sunny nation. There's beaches, beautiful beaches. Like, tourism is on the rise. Like, it's just a beautiful place to just go for holiday and all. So it has a lot of tourism, right? Which is benefiting the country, the government, and all that. The people, the community, name it. So they're known as a red state because they voted. They all came out. The numbers don't lie. They came out with a big, huge number of supporters of the president, just believing his every word, every propaganda manifesto, all that to heart. They are called diehard fans. They are the ones who said they want to make America great again. Please don't laugh because I'm laughing. Come on, come on. They wanted to make America great again, right? So, this is the America I think they wanted by voting the current president. Economy is bad. Hotel owners are now even complaining on the internet. They can't take it no more. They have to talk it out. You remember they had like laborers and all that, blah, 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 right? These workers, some of them were immigrants, mind you, and they had a huge number of immigrants working for them to build that economy. But now, because of their votes, they are scared to be in that place. Because how could you be an immigrant in a red state? Your heart would be beating every second because they're gonna call ICE on you. Come on, right? So now they're helpless. The economy is just plunging down deep, deep and deeper. Everything is just bad. Nobody knows what to do at this point. They have to seek help from the government. One of the owners is even advising the president on what needs to be done. Oh, Mr. President, you need to do this and this. Oh, Mr. President, this is not the way things are done. But will the president listen now? He told you this is this is exactly what he wants to deliver, and you chose that. You just ignored when other communities were telling you that. Come on, friend, this and this is not going to happen. Please believe us. You ignored. And now the consequences are too expensive. Too expensive. Let me tell you, hate is expensive. Racism is expensive. So please, my good dear people, next time when we're choosing a leader, let us choose one who has great policies for all people of color, everybody in that particular country. Let nobody be discriminated because of some petty issues. Anyway, now these farmers are really going, these Florida hotel owners, the economy is worse and worse. They're going through it all. Thank you so much for being part of my journey. And I know that you're headed to 500 subs by the end of the month or just next week. And I appreciate you. I love you. Please take care of yourself. Have a fantastic week. Mwah. Bye.